The Heilprin will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad you're with us. And welcome to all of you who are paying attention over on the Bud Light live stream as well. We are glad you are here, and thanks so much for hanging out with us. We certainly appreciate it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, by all means, go ahead and do so, and we would love to hear from you. 877-867-1670. Got a few people chiming in over on the Bud Light live stream once we got it back up and running. So thanks to everybody over there. Thanks to Dan and such. This one's from Mark. Mark listens all the time and emails all the time. Our good buddy. Mark listening to us, by the way. Today he says he's through Oostburg. Says, not worried at all about the Green Bay Packers to be able to beat the Steelers with one hand tied behind Aaron Rodgers' back. The Brewers are making me nervous. Not playing good baseball down the stretch. That's not the way to go into any postseason, especially baseball. When you can't hit and your pitching is starting to give up runs, it may bite your fingernails. Good stuff. And I agree. 877-867-1670. So this one is, who's this from? Lederhosen Steve, who says, hey, unit, love the program. He says, this is bothering me about the Brewers pitching staff starting to give up too many runs and too many long balls. The hitting has not been clutch. They're not coming up with key hits. Hitting with runners in scoring position over the last couple of weeks has been abysmal. I heard Brian and Bill talking about it yesterday. Everything can't be rosy going to the postseason. I still believe that once you wipe the slate clean, this team is going to be just fine. I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right. I mean, I know it's, but I said this 3 weeks ago that there was just something about it, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what specifically it is. Maybe coming off of that series sweep of the Cleveland Indians, getting a couple of wins over Philadelphia, especially when Philadelphia pounded them for 12 runs. And I'm like, oh, man, this is just one of those days. Wipe the slate, no big deal. And then the Brewers bounced back the very next day of their own and blanked the Phillies. I thought, okay, you righted the ship really quick. But then while the Brewers have the pitching that can stop long losing streaks, usually the pitching will sustain long win streaks. You're able to put it together in back-to-back-to-back type of fashion. And this team has not been able to do it here in recent history. Like I said, it's going to be over the last, 18, 19 games. They haven't been able to do that. They're a sub-500 team. And that's a little bothersome. The fact that they've had runs in scoring position, they haven't been able to get the hit. The fact that they've had pitching outings that have been less than stellar. You know, you want your guys, and this is where load management comes in, and I understand that, and they're moving guys around, and they're pitching some people that they don't normally throw, and good with all of that. But still, when you start to have losses begin to come into the fold more often than not now, it's a bothersome thing. Brewers tonight, 8:30 or something like that, I think, is first pitch. 8:10 Central Time tonight from L.A. Brewers back at it this evening. Going to be taking on the Dodgers in the final series of the season. In the meantime, you've got the Badgers taking on Michigan this weekend, and discussion wholeheartedly about whether or not the Badgers are going to show up and whether or not you're going to have Graham Mertz play well. We're going to talk with Zach Heilprin about this a little bit later on today. And we had to kind of address it yesterday in the sense that, with people that are screaming about Paul Chryst, about the offense, about the play calling, about, how much longer is Jim Leonard going to put up with this? And look, it's not up to Jim Leonard to kind of put up with this. It's up to Paul Chryst to right the ship. And you get a couple of losses, you don't bail all of a sudden. You're going to be okay. It's just whether or not you're going to be okay this week or okay this season, or you're going to kind of right the ship in the offseason better going into next year. But no, you're not making any wholesale changes. You're not going to. This is part of the pro ball mentality of you got to get rid of a guy. You got to get this guy out of there because that's not what you do in college athletics. You recruit, you develop, and you hope that your cats get better each and every year. That's what you don't bail on, guys that have come in that you recruited heavily, that you put your stamp of approval on. You don't bail on those guys. You, as a coach, you develop. That's what you're supposed to do. And some develop quicker than others. Some are going to go through growing pains. I get it, but you're not going to see Paul Chryst and the gang start yelling on Graham Mertz and company. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. 9:10 Central Time is tonight's game. I could have swore they said 8:10, but 9:10. Ben's telling me 9 Central Time tonight from out there in L.A. So Brewers later tonight, which we knew they'd be later tonight anyway. Greg says, now this is Wisconsin. Music in the background, drinking, dancing already going on. It's just after 10 a.m. You got to love it. Mitch says that the Badgers can keep the game in low teens. They have a chance. They just can't score. And he said also they're getting some good rest. It'll revitalize them, especially the big three. Getting their energy back is going to be a big deal. Mitch, I hope you're right. Sometimes it's tough to just, as a pitcher, it's tough to flip the switch and recapture what it is you had going. Because if that were easy, we wouldn't see a pitcher one year would be really good, and then the next year would be really, really bad. It's just, it's not that a drastic difference. You're talking about, 3, 4, or 5 months off, which is, having just a week to kind of rest up a little bit, but it's not easy. Just go back and all of a sudden turn it all back on and go back to what you were mid-season when you were stroking pretty good. Again, if you want to hit us up, do it. We're casting live here in LaCrosse. We are at Octoberfest, and there is drinking, dancing. There is drinking. There's music. There's drinking, and at an Oktoberfest. What says Oktoberfest? Like, well, there's Lederhosen, but what says Oktoberfest? Like a guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt, right? Oktoberfest comes in all shapes and sizes, I guess. I got to tell you, this is crazy. This is like, when you do a tailgate, you expect a tailgate prior to a game to be kind of nuts, but it's everybody there kind of supporting your team, and it's Go Pack Go, or people are, doing the Badger polka, or people are talking Brewers. It's sports. This is a, hey, I'm taking the day off of work, free for all. That's what this is. So there you go. There you go. All right, let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, Ray Fittapaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, he's going to be joining us. We're going to talk with him about this Steelers team and whether or not they indeed ran out of bullets, so to speak, to use Mike Tomlin's terminology. They just didn't have enough in the tank to overcome Cincinnati and what Cincinnati had to offer. And we'll also ask him, is this the beginning of the end? We'll get into that discussion. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, new bikes, used bikes, continually coming in. Big inventory. Stop out and see my buddy Craig, the GM out there. Go to wishd.com. Highway 67 in Oconomowoc, just south of 94. You can't miss it. Again, go to wishd.com. That's wishd.com. Also, if you're going to be checking out Milwaukee anytime soon, maybe a Brewers game, a Bucks game, a Marquette game, an Admirals hockey game, on West Lisbon Road in Menominee Falls, great place to watch any sporting event. Plus, on a Sunday morning, you stop in and you get yourself either the highly acclaimed cheeseburger burglar. Otherwise, you can get yourself a cocktail, get yourself free pancakes as well. That's called the Social House. Social House, Haus, Social House on Lisbon Road in Menominee Falls. All right, stay tuned. We got a lot more coming up, and it's getting rowdier and rowdier. We got tables screaming at each other and people singing, and holy crap. Holy crap. Oh, man. Beer at 10:30 in the morning. Yeah, gotta love it. And Rick, you're late to the party, man. They came in at 8 a.m. 8:01. I had a gentleman talking to me how he liked loud music. So after he had sauerkraut, he could fart. Nobody could hear him. So that's the kind of day it's been. And I'm sure that's the kind of day it's going to end up being. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show live out here at LaCrosse coming up.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes.